Good morning and welcome to St Andrew's Church in Ipswich. Today we are going to visit the final resting place of one of the victims of the Ipswich Strangler, or Suffolk Strangler, and that is Gemma Adams. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful church. I don't know if you'll be able to see too much of it from behind me. It's a beautiful little church. We're kind of out of the main drag of Ipswich, just on the outskirts of Ipswich. And we're here, as you know, to see Gemma Adams, who was one of Steven Wrights' victims, the Suffolk Strangler, who is currently serving life in prison. Obviously, he will never see the light of day again, which is just as well. Gemma is one of 5 victims that was well covered, all in a very short period of time as well. If he hadn't been caught, there would have been a lot, because he was only killing women for a matter of weeks, and he killed 5, Gemma being one of them, unfortunately. But this is a beautiful little churchyard. What I'll do is I'll spin you around, I'll tell you a little bit about Gemma, and then we'll go and find her final resting place.
Gemma Rose Adams was born in Kesgrave, Suffolk, just outside Ipswich. I couldn't find a lot of information about her early years, which leads me to believe that she had a normal, happy childhood in a loving home. As a teenager though, it would appear that is when her life started to spiral out of control. At 17 years of age, she started dabbling with drugs. She grew up with both parents, an older sister and a younger brother, in their home in the village of Kesgrave. Her parents described her as bright and bubbly. She was in the Brownies as a child and grew up playing the piano and riding horses. She was good company, bright and intelligent, which many people who knew her attested to. Her father stated in an interview that if you asked her to do anything, that she would not only do it, but she would do it well. He also stated that neither he nor his wife ever had any rows with her in the home. A friend of Gemma's later described her as someone who always had a smile on her face. She was the girl that all girls wanted to be, beautiful, confident, and with her whole life ahead of her. She also said that Gemma's smile had been taken from her by drugs and the cruelness she had to face each night to fund her habit. After school, Gemma had taken a part-time GNVQ in administration. She was in a relationship with John Simpson, who she had met when she was 15 years old at Kesgrave High School. A college friend of Gemma's remembers her as a warm, kind and modest girl. The pair became good friends while doing their GNVQ and formed a close group with 2 other girls. Gemma left after completing the 1-year course, while her 3 friends stayed on for another 2 years to gain an advanced GNVQ qualification. She said Gemma, who was known among the group simply as Gem, left a lasting impression on her as a warm, kind-hearted person. I always remember that she never used to wear a lot of makeup, but always looked so beautiful and was always smiling. We became friends straight away because we just got on with each other. We had the same sense of humour. After completing her GNVQ, Gemma worked for a short time for an insurance company, but by now had drifted into the wrong crowd and the drugs she was taking had started to take hold. She is believed to have been addicted to heroin and crack cocaine. At one point, her parents took her to see doctors and a community drug rehabilitation team, but she was later sacked from her job, and over the next 2 years the family had little contact with their daughter. An acquaintance of Gemma's later stated, "I met Gemma a few years ago, and at the time I was having trouble with drugs. The only thing I know is that the whole time I was mixed up in that nasty world, Gemma and her boyfriend were the only good, trustworthy people I met." On November the 15th, 2006, Gemma went missing from outside a BMW dealership in West End Road, Ipswich, where she had been plying her trade as a prostitute to feed her drug habit. Her family were completely unaware that she was even doing this. Gemma's boyfriend, John, reported her missing after she failed to return text messages. Unfortunately, her body was recovered 6 days later. She was discovered by a fish farm worker who was checking the waterways for obstructions at Thorpe's Hill in Hintlesham. Though Gemma was the second girl to go missing, hers were the first remains to be recovered. Steven Wright, 48, from London Road, would later be convicted of killing Gemma along with 4 other girls. He was sentenced to life in prison. Now, I've been recording this after filming the grave, and I can honestly say that this one really did strike home with me. Actually, at the graveside, this one was really, really sad, and my heart really does go out to the family and friends of Gemma Adams.
Well, there you go. As you've just heard, I mean, Gemma was a very attractive, very intelligent young lady with a big future ahead of her, a good future ahead of her. Unfortunately, drugs got hold of her, and probably due to a boyfriend. But Gemma's final resting place is just down here, so I'll spin you around and we'll go and have a look at it together. Right, it's just along here. It took me a while to find this actually. I walked around the whole cemetery and missed it. I had to come back and do them all individually. But here it is. This is the final resting place of Gemma Rose Adams. Gemma Rose Adams missed beyond measure, a deeply loved daughter, sister and granddaughter, niece, cousin and friend. Rest in peace, darling, safe in the arms of the Lord. 31st of the 8th, 81 to the 15th of the 11th, 06. Now let's just put a little river washed pebble at the base of a headstone. Yes, a river polished pebble, which I'm going to start putting as a sign of respect. But that is a final resting place of Gemma Rose Adams. One of Steven Wright's murder victims. Well, as I said before, she had a really good future. Unfortunately, the drugs got hold of her, and she had to go out and sell herself to make money to feed her habit. So the message in this is obviously drugs. Never do it. If you're watching this and you're young, or old even, and you're on the drugs, then please seek help. Because with this one and the Leah Betts one and another one I'm going to be doing in the very near future, I don't want to be coming around doing murder victims or people that have OD'd. It's not good. But as I say, that is the final resting place of Gemma Rose Adams, and I hope to see you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up, and if you like the content, then maybe consider subscribing. And any comments or feedback, always welcome, good or bad. But anyway, I'll see you all on the next one, so ta-ra for now.